You are watching your wife being led away by the most powerful man on earth. You can't move. You can't speak. Around you, 50 other senators sit frozen, their wine cups trembling in their hands. Some are praying she'll return. You're praying she won't say anything that gets you both killed. 20 minutes pass like 20 years. When he finally brings her back, he doesn't just return her to your side. He sits down. He pours himself wine. And then, in front of everyone you know, he begins to describe, in graphic clinical detail, exactly what just happened in that room. Your colleagues are staring at their plates. Your wife is staring at nothing. And you have to smile. You have to nod. You have to thank him. Because the alternative is watching your children die. This wasn't madness. This was a machine. A system designed with surgical precision to destroy the human soul. The man who built it learned everything he knew by watching his entire family get murdered by the previous emperor. His name was Caligula. And what he did to Rome is so disturbing, so systematically evil, that 2,000 years later, we are still trying to understand how one human being could architect this level of psychological warfare. To understand the monster, we first have to understand the boy. He wasn't born evil, he was manufactured, and the process started when he was just 7 years old. Picture this. The year is 14 AD. A little boy, maybe 6 or 7, is running through a Roman military camp. He's wearing a miniature legionnaire uniform, complete with tiny armor and little red boots. The soldiers, battle-hardened men who've conquered half the known world, are laughing, picking him up, tossing him in the air. They call him Caligula, Little Boots. He is the son of Germanicus, Rome's greatest general since Julius Caesar. The soldiers worship his father, and they adore this kid. He's their mascot, their good luck charm. This boy is growing up thinking he's invincible, loved, protected by the most powerful army on earth. He has no idea what's coming. 1 year later, his father dies. The official story, sudden illness. The whispered story, poison, ordered by the emperor himself. Caligula is 8 years old when the machine starts destroying his family. He watches his mother dragged from their home, accused of treason. He watches his oldest brother imprisoned and starved until he tried to eat the stuffing from his mattress. He watches his second brother exiled and tortured until he smashed his own head against a wall to end the pain. One by one, they are erased, and young Caligula watches it all happen. By the time he is 19, he is the last one left, the sole survivor of his entire bloodline. And then comes the summons. Emperor Tiberius, the man who killed them all, wants to see him. For 6 years, Caligula lives on the island of Capri with the monster. The ancient historians describe Capri as a house of horrors. Tiberius has become paranoid and depraved, inventing new cruelties just because he's bored. And into this environment walks teenage Caligula. He knows Tiberius murdered his family. Everyone knows it, but he can't show it. One wrong look, one flash of anger, and he is dead. So he doesn't just survive, he excels. He learns to bury everything human inside him. He watches, he studies. He becomes exactly what Tiberius wants: obedient, entertaining, harmless. He was learning that terror, when applied with surgical precision, was more effective than any army. In 37 AD, Tiberius dies. The 19-year-old hostage is now the most powerful person on earth. Rome celebrates. They think they are getting the son of the beloved Germanicus. They have no idea. They have just crowned a man who spent 6 years in a masterclass of cruelty. For 7 months, everything seems perfect. Then, he gets sick. And the person who wakes up is not the same person who went to sleep. When Caligula recovered, something inside him had shattered. He began to build a system, 5 distinct acts of psychological warfare. Let me show you the blueprint. Act 1 of the machine, the sister goddess. Caligula had 3 sisters, but one, Drusilla, was different. When she died, Caligula didn't just mourn, he weaponized his mourning. First, he declared her a goddess, not metaphorically, officially. Then he declared a period of mandatory mourning. And here is where it becomes monstrous. It became a capital crime to laugh, a capital crime to bathe, a capital crime to have dinner with your family. Think about that. For weeks, if you were caught smiling, you could be executed. He was making Rome feel his pain, whether they wanted to or not. He was learning that he could legislate emotion. He could criminalize happiness. Once he realized he could control how people felt, he started experimenting with what else he could take from them. Act 2 of the machine, the imperial brothel. This part is so disturbing that historians still debate it, but the ancient sources are clear. Caligula established a brothel inside the imperial palace. But it wasn't staffed by common workers. It was staffed by the wives and daughters of Rome's highest nobility. He sent heralds into the streets to announce the prices. He kept detailed ledgers, names, dates, transactions. Think about the psychology here. If you are a Roman nobleman, your entire identity is built on family honor. Your lineage goes back centuries. And now, your daughter's being advertised in the streets like livestock, and there's a ledger with her name in it. You can do absolutely nothing about it because the alternative is execution. He wasn't just taking their bodies, he was taking the one thing Roman aristocracy valued more than life itself, their reputation. But he still wasn't done, because he realized something. Public humiliation is powerful, but private humiliation with witnesses is even more devastating. Act 3 of the machine, the banquet of predation. Picture this scene again, because now you understand the context. You are at an imperial banquet. Caligula stands up. The room goes silent. He walks slowly between the tables, looking at the women. His eyes are clinical, evaluative. He stops at your table. He looks at your wife. He inspects her the way you would inspect a horse you are thinking of buying, checking her teeth, her hair, the shape of her body. He doesn't ask permission. He doesn't even acknowledge you exist. He just takes her hand and leads her away. You sit there. The man next to you is staring into his wine. Everyone is pretending this isn't happening because everyone knows if you stand up, if you object, you won't leave this room alive. Finally, he brings her back. She sits down. She won't look at you. And then he sits down too. And in front of everyone, he begins to describe what just happened. He rates her performance. He compares her to other senators' wives. He makes jokes. And you have to smile. You have to laugh at his jokes. He is not just violating your wife. He is destroying you. He is stripping away your authority, your dignity, your manhood. And tomorrow, you have to come back and smile at these same people again. This is the genius of the machine. He made everyone complicit. Everyone became a witness to everyone else's degradation. But we are only at Act 3. What comes next is so much worse that modern psychologists have studied it as a case study in systematic torture. Act 4. The Grieving Father. Caligula began executing people just because he was bored, but he developed a new protocol. If he was executing someone's son, the father had to watch, not from a distance, front row. The historian Suetonius records a specific incident that reveals the true horror. A father watches his son executed in the morning. That very night, Caligula invites the father to the palace for dinner. The body is still warm. The father is sitting at Caligula's table, and Caligula watches him, just watches, studying his face like he is conducting an experiment. He is checking to see if the father will cry, because if he does, if he shows any emotion at all, Caligula will know he hasn't broken him completely. So the father sits there, eating food he can't taste, making conversation he can't hear, while his son's murderer laughs at him. He is taking your right to grieve. He is turning the deepest human bond, parent and child, into a source of terror. The more you care, the more vulnerable you are. He was making love itself dangerous, but the machine had a fatal flaw. Caligula had become so confident, so certain that fear would always win, that he forgot the most basic rule of nature. Never corner something that can kill you. Act 5. The Wrong Man. His name was Cassius Chaerea, a senior officer in the Praetorian Guard, a war hero, a man trained for violence, but he had a high-pitched voice, and Caligula found it endlessly amusing. Every day, Caligula would mock him. When it was Chaerea's turn to ask for the daily password, Caligula would give him words like Venus or Priapus. Deliberately effeminate, sexual words designed to make the other soldiers laugh. For Caligula, it was just throwaway humor. For Chaerea, every joke was a drop of poison. Caligula made a calculation error. Senators could be humiliated because they wanted to protect their wealth. But a soldier has only his honor. And Caligula had taken that away. January 24th, 41 AD. Caligula is leaving the theater. He decides to take a shortcut through a narrow underground corridor. It is dimly lit, claustrophobic. The conspirators are waiting. Chaerea steps forward. This is normal. He asks for the day's password, and Caligula, completely unaware, totally secure in his invincibility, gives one final sneering, mocking response. It is the last thing he ever says. Chaerea screams, "Take this!" and drives his sword up under Caligula's ribs. Caligula stumbles. He tries to run, but the corridor is too narrow. The conspirators swarm him. 30 stab wounds. 30 times the blade goes in. They don't stop until there is nothing left that could possibly be alive. 4 years of accumulated rage, released in 60 seconds of frenzied violence. The monster is dead, but here's where it gets worse. The conspirators don't stop with Caligula. They find his wife, Suetonius. They stab her to death. Then they find the nursery. Caligula's daughter, Julia Drusilla, is barely a toddler. A soldier picks her up and swings her head first into a marble wall. They have to make sure there is no heir, no one who could grow up and seek vengeance. So they kill a baby. This is what happens when the machine breaks. It doesn't just stop. It devours everything connected to it. For a few hours, it seemed like Rome might actually change. The Senate gathered to talk about restoring the Republic. But while they were talking, the soldiers were looting the palace. Behind a curtain, they found a trembling man, Claudius, Caligula's uncle, the family fool. The soldiers didn't kill him. They proclaimed him emperor. The system survived. And that is what haunts me about this story. Caligula ruled for less than 4 years, a blip in history. Yet, 2,000 years later, we are still talking about him. Why? Because Caligula proved something terrifying about power. He showed that the entire machinery of a state, its laws, its military, its economy, can be turned into instruments of personal madness. He didn't work outside the system. He made the system his weapon. Every atrocity he committed was technically legal because he was the law. And when he died, the system didn't die with him. It just found a new operator. That is the real horror. Not that one man was a monster, but that the machine he built kept running without him. Caligula showed every future tyrant exactly how to break human beings, and the blueprint never disappeared. It is still out there. Which leaves us with one final question. If the machine is still waiting, who will operate it next? If you want to uncover more of history's darkest secrets, subscribe to the Scarlet Archives. Because the scariest monsters aren't under your bed. They are in the history books.